Kada smo online, želimo da se povežemo na bilo koji sajt ili servis. Ne želimo da naši internet provajderi kontrolišu protok naših podataka i usmere nas na usluge koje su oni izabrali za nas, a da pritom blokiraju neke druge. Mi očekujemo neutralnost mreže, koja bi trebala da bude vodeći princip interneta. Ona čuva naše pravo da slobodno komuniciramo online. Neutralnost mreže znači internet koji omogućava i štiti slobodu govora. Bez nje bi mobilni i kablovski operateri odmah počeli sa usporavanjem i blokiranjem sadržaja. Brze trake za oni koji plate i spore trake za sve ostale.
Bits are bits, and it isn't up to our internet service providers to decide which part of the internet the user can have access to and can't have access to. So basically the idea, if you put it in very simple terms, is that if you get internet access, if it's from a mobile provider or from a normal internet service provider, then that should be the true and real internet that is unfiltered, where all the data streams come in at the same speed, regardless of where they come from. Because if you don't do that, you will start seeing that there's going to be all sorts of commercial deals that are not advantageous to the end user.
If tomorrow you launch a service in Europe and you need to pay Deutsche Telekom and France Telecom and British Telecom and Telefonica and Telia and Telecom Serbia, etc., the internet has stopped being the internet. So you make 30 companies quite happy for a few years until the internet becomes a poor place that nobody wants to be anymore. Or you keep the internet open and people keep wanting fast internet connections, and those companies stay happy, and then the rest of society stays happy too.
There's this nice quote in the internet that net neutrality is not just a good idea, it ought to be the law. In principle, net neutrality is what made the internet such a great and diverse place, because it allowed everybody to have a voice, everybody to start a new service. That's the crazy thing. If you have an internet connection, you're not just a consumer, you are also a producer. The packages flow both ways. You can also invent your own service and be successful. Mark Zuckerberg, this bastard, paid $85 per month for the first server of Facebook, and now it's a multi-billion company. So having a good idea and having access to the internet, those two things are very powerful, and that's why we have to keep the internet open.
Osnivač svetske mreže Tim Berners-Lee nije morao ni od koga da traži dozvolu da bi stvorio internet koji danas milijarde ljudi koriste slobodno. Njegov strah je da će tome doći kraj. Princip neutralnosti mreže je u stalnoj opasnosti. Naročito u SAD-u, gdje Trumpova administracija i mobilni operateri čine sve da ukinu pravilo neutralnosti mreže. Bitka za slobodan i otvoren internet besni na brojnim frontovima.
Every national regulators in Europe is empowered to control the conduct of the telecom providers, and if they discriminate between services in the internet, then we can put fines to them, we can ask them to change their behavior, so we really can mandate net neutrality concretely.
Now this net neutrality principle is enshrined in European law, so there are some tiny details that the telco providers are still sort of playing with because they want to see how far the law stretches. One of these topics is this idea of zero rating.
Nulti rating je postao vodeća tema debate o neutralnosti mreže. Nulti rating znači da mobilni operateri ne naplaćuju protok podataka za određene aplikacije. Možete da se zapitate, u čemu je problem ako neku uslugu dobijamo besplatno? Bez obzira na to što se milionima ljudi koji nemaju novca pruža mogućnost besplatnog pristupa servisima poput Facebooka, ovo bi nanijelo veliku štetu lokalnim IT kompanijama koje pokušavaju da dođu do potencijalnih korisnika.
For instance, you have 4 gigaoctets of mobile data plus Facebook Unlimited. So this is a possible discrimination, and now all the national regulators in Europe have the power to ban this kind of behavior under specific conditions. Zero rating is not banned in itself, but under a case-by-case analysis.
In India, this new set of rules is really groundbreaking. The Indians have succeeded on a scale that it's just wow, because what they did was a generic movement that got over 1 million people to do something and to speak up, and that really convinced also the politicians in India.
The Indian telecom regulator, the TRAI, which is our colleague from India, from BEREC, has taken a very ambitious decision to ban an offer from Facebook. I don't know if you have heard of this. Facebook Free Basics, which was an offer in India to have a free internet access to every Indian people. But this internet access was limited to Facebook and other several services like Wikipedia, for instance. And the regulator considered that this was breaching net neutrality.
Creative startups and people that come up with great ideas which are really novel, not only to India, to the world. And of course, they don't want to lose the freedom that the internet gives them. They don't want to lose this level playing field by some foreign company coming in colonial fashion and dictating the terms upon which the majority of the population is soon connected to the internet. And I think it was the sentiment of keeping the self-control and really keeping the internet open for everyone.
Nulti rating bi ograničio korisnike na usko viđenje interneta I obeshrabrio ih da koriste servise koji nisu besplatni.
And it's very important, therefore, that we have net neutrality. And it's also important throughout the world. So we have it in Europe. It is important that the countries that are sort of around Europe also enshrine this into law. It is important that in the US, where there is a new battle with the new administration around net neutrality, that it is enshrined there. And I think it's important in the end everywhere.
We won one battle, but now we have to keep pressuring, because the other side will continue to fight this legislation. They will try to water it down. They will try to stall the enforcement of these new rules. And so we really have to stay watchful, because if we don't look closely to our politicians and to our regulators, within 1 or 2 years our freedoms can be stripped away.